Hey everyone, my name's Lily and I'm the book blogger behind Utopia State of Mind, and today is my first haul of 2022. I have to get used to saying that. I'm in a different setting, as you know, holiday times, I'm still in that mode, but I need to put these books on my shelf, so I decided to do a haul. I actually have a two-part haul. They won't all fit into one haul, so I'm going to do a two-part haul, and this is the first part. I don't think that we're going to be able to get all the books in the shot, also because I'm just a very weak person in general. But here are all the books. There's, I think, 16 in this one, so there's no way you're going to be able to see all of them. But here we go. So why don't I start with one of my most exciting pieces of Bookmail. The first one is this arc of The Truth About White Lies. Olivia Cole sent me this arc. I'm so excited because I really loved Olivia's, another series of Olivia's. The first one was called, I can't remember, A Conspiracy of Stars? Yeah, A Conspiracy of Stars and Anatomy of Beasts. And those were the only other books by Olivia A. Cole. So I was going to say the first one because I wasn't really sure. But those are the only other ones by Olivia A. Cole. Those are sci-fi duology about aliens and first contact, kind of, but also about finding the truth in one's community. And so I'm really excited about The Truth About White Lies because not only were the character voices really strong in that other one, this one is a contemporary. So I'm so excited about this one. This one releases in March and I'm hoping to read it soon. And this is one of my most exciting pieces of Bookmail, and I also knew that this was coming. Some of the ones in this haul I didn't know were coming, so those are surprises. The next one is that I was able to visit my old local library, and at my old local library, they have this section where they take donations for books. So it's kind of like a book buying thing, but it's like donations and there's no set price. And I was able to pick up these three books. The first one is The Midnight Library, which I had not known anything about until like December, I think, when I saw it all over the place on my For You page and also in Barnes and Nobles. Like in every store, basically, I saw people talking about The Midnight Library. And so I don't know anything about it, except I know that there's kind of this library point between death and life, and I really love books set in libraries, so this was a very easy sell for me, and I kind of picked it up just because I had seen so much about it. The next one is Ride Upon Styx. This one is all because Katie, so the Shrieking Stack on Instagram, Katie really liked this book, and I wouldn't have normally picked it up because I think it's a sports book, and I just generally kind of don't read those books, but Katie recommended it, and she thought that I would really like it because we were talking, and I was like, oh, it's a sports book. Did you really like it? Because I don't think sports is necessarily like Katie's favorite topic. But yes, she really liked it, and so that's why I knew that I had to pick this one up when I saw it. And the last one is The Lost Apothecary. So basically, Victoria recommended me Detransition Baby for the 12 authors, 12 books project. But I think a book that I had seen on their feed like ages and ages ago, or like on a tweet or whatever, was The Lost Apothecary. I don't know actually if that's true, but it was one of those things where I thought that was the title. Don't know if that's true. But that's why I picked up this one. And you can see that this used to be a library copy because it has the name on it. And also I had to cut the like crinkly plastic thing off of it. But I'm actually really happy with the quality of the book as well. And yeah, that concludes my little like library used book haul essentially. The next ones are some pre-orders that I had pre-ordered and are able to collect now. The first one is the Our Violent Ends Owl Crate edition of this book. Basically, the first one that I had ordered got stolen, but this one is not stolen. This is really beautiful. I have a normal copy of Our Violent Ends on the shelf over there. I'm going to try to track down the Fairy Loot one just to make my collection complete. I feel very Ariel Little Mermaid by saying that. But this is Our Violent Ends. It has these really gorgeous kind of end papers. There's also reverse character art. I don't know if you can see any of this because the lighting is kind of weird, but I'm sorry if you can't. There's a stamp on it, which was supposed to be foiled or kind of colored in. But I was actually thinking it would be really cool in this kind of black color. So I'm not really sure if anyone has experience drawing on books, specifically kind of what I would be trying to do. But if you do, please leave me a comment below because I kind of would love to do that. Or like, I think black would be what I would choose. And I just really love these Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends, so I knew that I had to pre-order that one. Another pre-order that I have is Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. The Jade City trilogy is one of my favorite, period. And so I knew that I had to pre-order Jade Legacy, and I knew that I had to get a very specific edition. So this is the US hardcover. Because I guess in the past also, it's been hard for people to track down old editions of the US hardcover. So I knew I also had to pre-order this one. It's a chunky book, but I read an arc of this one and I loved it. It made me cry multiple times. So I'm really happy that I can add this one to my shelf. And the next one is A Journey to the Heart of the Abyss. I've talked about this forever on the internet. I've talked about The Light at the Bottom of the World forever on the internet, and I knew that I had to pre-order my copy here. London is just such a really just wonderful human being. Journey to the Heart of the Abyss and Light at the Bottom of the World are a sci-fi duology, and they are about family and about trying to find the truth and sacrifice, and a very beautifully immersive, detailed sci-fi world in the future about not only, you know, what climate change kind of has done to us, but also how we navigate our relationship to the past and our nostalgia with the past, specifically as we've progressed into the future. So I'm really happy that I finally have a copy of Journey to the Heart of the Abyss, and yeah, it just makes my heart happy. The next ones are review copies or copies I were sent in the mail. The first ones are that the novel, wanted to see if I wanted to do like an unboxing of these 2 books and a pin, which I can't find because my house is a wreck at the moment with everything that I'm kind of trying to process, which is why I'm filming this video. And they are Hawk and City of the Dead. I have never read anything by James Patterson, and so I don't know actually that much about this, but I thought, like, why not? This is kind of something that I want to try, and I've always had kind of a fascination for it. And so it's James Patterson and Mindy McGinnis. This one was James Patterson and Gabrielle Charbonnet, which that name sounds super, super familiar, but I can't remember why that sounds familiar. But Mindy McGinnis is familiar because I think I've read a Mindy McGinnis book. Did she write Heroine? I'm not really sure. It doesn't say in the book. Anyway, I'm really excited for these ones because it seems to be kind of this sci-fi dystopia vibe, at least from the cover, also with birds, as you can tell. And so those are kind of just 2 of my pet interests that I really love. I really love dystopia sci-fis, which I'm pretty sure this is. Based on the, yeah, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not sure. And then also bird books. I actually have a whole note on Google Keep about books about birds or books with birds in it, like Black Wings Beating, The Merciful Crow. So, you know, if you didn't know that about me, that's something that I'm interested in. The next one was a surprise package from Little Brown, and this is an arc of Peach Blossom Spring. I'm really happy that I actually got this sent. The cover is super shiny, so I don't know if you can see it very well. I'll leave links, obviously, to everything below. But I'm really excited for it because it's a historical fiction adult book in China. And I'm really excited. I don't know exactly how this ended up even on my doorstep. So it's one of these happy coincidences. I think the cover is really beautiful. In 2022, I want to kind of recommit to making sure to feature more Asian authors. This is something that I do every year and something that I continue to try to do more and more every year. I've already decided to try to do more author interviews or more author panels in 2022 for Asian authors, and so I'm really excited that I can add this to my TBR. I only know that it is the historical fiction set in China. It says a moving debut novel about war, migration, and the power of telling stories. Peach Blossom Spring follows 3 generations of a Chinese family on their search for a place to call home. The next one is one that I requested from the publisher. It's A Brilliant Night of Stars and Ice because it is a Titanic story. That is also another pet interest of mine. Also glossy cover. I don't know how much of you can see. But it was from Shadow Mountain, and this is kind of the first time I've really reviewed a book from Shadow Mountain. Maybe the Kokoma book might have been from Shadow Mountain, or maybe that's Blackstone. Anyway, I'm really excited for A Brilliant Night of Stars and Ice because I do have a pet interest in the Titanic. I think that after I read Luck of the Titanic by Stacey Lee, I basically just watched hours and hours of Titanic footage about kind of what went wrong and how could they have fixed it and what is it like now, and I could not stop talking about it. And so when I got this email about A Brilliant Night of Stars and Ice, which is an adult historical fiction retelling of the Titanic, but also of the Carpathia, which I feel like I haven't read anything really about. I was really intrigued. As I said, it's a pet interest of mine, and so I'm excited for this one. And the last review copy is The Wolf and the Woodsman. So Fadwa from Lit Fever has been talking forever now, or not forever, but really recently about The Wolf and the Woodsman. I didn't have a copy of my own, so I don't know if you've seen it that much on my feed, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed how it had this clash between religions and between this idea of like tradition and outdatedness. I use it in quotes because like you'll see in the book. And also this kind of society of Christianity and specifically about, is it a monk? No, when soldiers arrive from the Holy Order of Woodsmen. And so I really enjoyed reading that. I thought the chemistry was really fantastic between the main characters. So when Harper asked me if I wanted a review copy, I said yes because I really loved this book and I would love to feature it more in future posts. So here's your kind of warning that that's going to happen. The next one are books that I picked up from various bookstores. So I picked up recently these books from Barnes & Nobles. It's Daughter of the Moon Goddess and Detransition Baby. So I mentioned earlier that Victoria wrote The Electric Air, The Fever King, and A Lesson in Vengeance. And so Victoria, for the 12 Authors, 12 Books project, recommended me Detransition Baby. I really wanted to pick up this copy specifically because I like this cover a lot. And I'm really excited for this one to add. I haven't bought every book from the 12 Authors, 12 Books project, but there are some where I really know that I think it's going to be a book for me, and I know that I want to pick up the book. There might be other ones where I really read them and I like them and I'm kind of surprised about how much I like them and I picked them up. And this one I thought was really great because I don't have that much adult fiction on my bookshelf, if you've seen. And so I'm really kind of trying also in 2022 to read more adult things. So adult sci-fi, fantasy, and also adult fiction. I rarely read any adult fiction. And the next one is Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which is actually an adult fantasy debut. I've already read the ARC. I have the ARC somewhere behind me. And I loved it so much that I knew I had to pick up the finished copy because Sue Lin Tan is just such the sweetest person. I cannot wait for the sequel to Daughter of the Moon Goddess. It is just so fantastic and lyrical. I loved the characters, and I loved also how you never got a handle on the sense of adventure, which sounds a little bit bad, but it means that I was consistently swept away by the sense of adventure and pacing. I never got like complacent, I guess, in knowing what was going to happen. And so I was always able to kind of be like, oh, what's going to happen next? Oh, we're going to do this next. Obviously, redacted spoilers. What's going to happen after that? So it was one of those books which just kept me reading, and I really enjoyed reading it. And so I wanted to pick up a copy for myself. And the next two are actually two books that I picked up from Tombolo Books in St. Petersburg, Florida. The first one is that I've got a paperback copy of Harrow the Ninth, mostly because I really enjoyed Gideon the Ninth, and even though it was something that I did not expect at all. And so I wanted to read Harrow the Ninth, and I also know that I think Nona the Ninth is the third one. That one's coming out soon, and also I still had pre-order pins for Harrow the Ninth, so like easy sell, also glossy. Don't know if you can see it. The next one also is Persephone Station. This is an adult sci-fi, and I think it's also queer. Basically, I've been seeing this on and off for the last couple of years. And so I finally just decided to just buy it because I really want to read more adult sci-fi in 2022. I felt like in 2021, I've just read a lot of YA, which I really loved, but I want to kind of balance my reading a little bit more in 2022. And so I really want to have focus more on sci-fi in general. And so I'm trying to delve a little bit more into, or even more into sci-fi and specifically adult sci-fi. So I don't really know anything about it except that it's obviously a very gorgeous cover, and I thought that it's a queer adult sci-fi. So that is this giant stack of books. How many books are that? 2, 4, 6. I think 16 books. As I said, I'm not going to pick it up for you, but that's going to be part 1 of the first book haul of 2022. And I'm told you where everything goes. Thank you, obviously, to the publishers who sent me the books. So Shadow Mountain Press, the novel, and Harper Voyager. Thank you for sending me these review copies. And I'm really excited to dive into these. As you can see, this haul specifically, or part 1 of this haul, is focused more on just books that I bought, including the library or the used library books. and books that I pre-ordered. So I hope that you enjoyed kind of that spread of books, and I will see you in part 2 of this book haul. Bye!